Every day I wake up and I hope you're dead!
Well, Rachel Zegler, once hailed as the fresh face of Hollywood's future, and now, well, let's just say the internet has some very strong opinions. Her latest cinematic adventure, a little Disney movie called Snow White. You might have heard of it, or maybe you didn't, judging by the box office numbers. Spoiler alert, it flopped hard. Now, we're not just talking a meh performance. We're talking full-blown Disney disaster territory, as in projected $115 million in losses. Yep, even Mickey Mouse is sweating. Our story begins with a paparazzi moment that basically screamed, "I regret everything." Rachel was spotted in New York this week, taking her dog Lenny for a walk and rocking the universal uniform of "Please don't talk to me," oversized denim jacket, gray sweatpants, and chef's kiss, a green star-shaped pimple patch on her forehead. Bold fashion choice, or maybe just honest skincare. Either way, girl looked done. And hey, who could blame her? When your movie tanks at the box office and your name trends for all the wrong reasons, walking your dog suddenly becomes a high-stakes public appearance. Let's talk numbers, shall we? Snow White opened at a disappointing $42 million, which for Disney is like showing up to prom in a wrinkled tux and Crocs. Then it dropped a massive 66% in its second weekend. Ouch. As of now, the domestic total sits at $77 million. Worldwide, $168 million. Sounds okay, until you factor in how much they spent on this thing. Spoiler, too much. Critics weren't kind either. Rotten Tomatoes, a glorious 40%. So not only did audiences skip it, but reviewers basically threw apples at it. Disney is reportedly looking at a $115 million loss, which begs the question, what went wrong? Short answer, everything. Long answer? Let's keep going. Because at this point, being Rachel Zegler isn't just about acting anymore, it's a full-time public relations minefield. It's wild how quickly Hollywood's golden girl turned into a walking controversy magnet. From the moment she was announced as Disney's live-action Snow White, people started sharpening their pitchforks. Wrong race, wrong vibe, wrong tone, wrong attitude. You name it, someone was mad about it. And that was before the movie even had a trailer. And it didn't stop there. Every time Rachel speaks, breathes, tweets, or so much as blinks, she gets dragged. The internet has made her into this strange lightning rod for everything from woke culture to bad PR, and somewhere along the way, she stopped being seen as an actress and became a symbol of whatever people wanted to be mad about that day. Even her facial expressions have become headlines. Remember that Oscars photo shoot? Yeah, this one. Apparently Rachel didn't smile graciously enough for the camera, and that was yet another reason people decided to cancel her. Like, we've reached a point where she can't even look tired without it becoming a personality flaw. God forbid someone look human. And here's the thing, even when she says something completely normal, the backlash is immediate. Whether it's her saying she doesn't want to kiss a stranger on screen, or that she's not into the idea of being saved by a prince, boom, internet meltdown. Suddenly she's ungrateful, too woke, or trying to ruin everyone's childhood. It's honestly like people are waiting for her to mess up, just so they can jump in and say, "See, told you she's the problem." But wait, there's drama off-screen too. You may remember Ariana as Rachel's co-star in West Side Story. But these days, that friendship seems to be hanging by a very thin thread. Right in the middle of all this Snow White chaos, Ariana shared a quote to Instagram that read, "Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged." Subtle, even juicier? That quote was from Jonah Platt, the son of Snow White producer Mark Platt. Yeah, the same Jonah who unleashed a full-blown rant against Zegler, blaming her for dragging politics into the film and tanking its performance. Ariana quickly deleted the post and claimed she didn't know it was about Rachel. Sure, January. But no apology was offered, just a classic, "Oopsie, my bad." And here's the kicker. Rachel didn't publicly congratulate Ariana when she won an Oscar. So yeah, the vibes, they're off. So, what do you do when you've spent hundreds of millions of dollars on a fairy tale remake and your audience is throwing tomatoes before the trailer even drops? You panic. Quietly. Elegantly. The Disney way. Because behind the scenes, Disney has been scrambling like Cinderella at 11:59. The live-action Snow White was supposed to be a slam dunk, a shiny, nostalgic cash grab with just enough modern sparkle to keep Gen Z interested. But instead, it became a PR nightmare with glitter on top. At first, Disney tried to brush off the backlash like it was just internet noise. People will come around, they thought, once they see the magic. Spoiler alert, they didn't. And so began Damage Control, the musical, starring panicked executives, reworked scripts, and entire reshoots nobody wants to admit are reshoots. There were reports the release date got pushed back not for creative reasons, but because the original footage was so awkward, it needed a fairy godmother and a miracle. And while all this was happening, you could almost see Disney slowly backing away from Rachel Zegler like, "Who? Us? Oh no, we've never met this woman in our lives." There were even whispers that top execs had to fly out to New York just to personally ask Rachel to stop tweeting political opinions. Imagine having to explain to your lead actress that tweeting Free Palestine during a press tour might not be great optics when you're trying to sell family-friendly escapism to the global market. It's the kind of crisis PR class that should be taught at Disney University. You can feel it, that unspoken dread that Snow White isn't just a flop. It's a signal that audiences are tired of soulless remakes, tired of online drama, tired of princesses who come with press scandals and politics instead of catchy songs and woodland creatures. This wasn't just about a movie. It became a brand crisis, and Mickey is sweating under that white glove. So, what now? After Disney's billion-dollar fairy tale turned into a $115 million nightmare, what's next for Rachel Zegler? Well, she hasn't exactly gone into hiding. Just days after the Snow White box office numbers came crashing down like a bad sequel, Rachel re-emerged in public, putting on her best brave face at the opening of George Clooney's Broadway play Good Night and Good Luck in New York. Dressed in white dress with that signature half-smile, it was very much giving. Yes, I know everyone's talking about me and I showed up anyway. And whether it was an attempt to pivot public attention or just her way of saying I'm still here, Rachel made it clear that she's not backing down. In fact, she's already onto her next project. She's set to star in the upcoming prequel, The Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, where she plays Lucy Gray Baird, a mysterious, rebellious singer from District 12. So basically it's like Katniss, but with glitter and acoustic performances. Now here's where it gets interesting. The Hunger Games franchise is massive, like career-defining massive. And while the early buzz around the prequel has been cautiously optimistic, the elephant in the room is clear. Will audiences show up for Rachel Zegler after the Snow White disaster? Or has the damage already been done? Because let's be real, Hollywood loves a redemption arc. But it also loves a scapegoat. And right now, Rachel is walking a very thin line between comeback queen and cautionary tale. What if the next movie flops too? What if The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes doesn't perform as expected? Not because it's a bad film, but because audiences just can't separate Rachel from all the online backlash, the woke labels, the political controversy, and the PR train wreck that Snow White became? It's happened before. One flop becomes a pattern, and suddenly your name on a casting sheet sends execs into cold sweats. A second bomb could cement her as box office poison. A brutal term Hollywood whispers behind closed doors but never says out loud. At least, not until someone gets quietly recast. But on the flip side, what if she pulls it off? What if Rachel delivers the performance of her life, silences the critics, and makes everyone forget the cursed apple that was Snow White? Hollywood loves a good comeback, and Rachel is talented, genuinely talented. Maybe the Hunger Games will be her "I told you so" moment. Either way, one thing's for sure. The stakes have never been higher, so whether she's redeeming herself on screen, dodging Met Gala drama, or walking her dog through New York with a pimple patch and paparazzi in her face, Rachel Zegler is still in the spotlight. And the next few months? They might just define the rest of her career. And then there's the Met Gala, or should we say, the invite that may or may not arrive. With the Met Gala just around the corner, set for May 6th, Hollywood is already buzzing with rumors, outfit predictions, and the annual guessing game of who's in and who's been quietly dropped. And right in the middle of that chatter? Yep, Rachel Zegler. As the fashion world gears up for its biggest night, some fans are asking the million-dollar question, will Rachel be there? Or has her recent string of controversies earned her a silent snub from fashion's most exclusive guest list? Let's be real, this year's theme could be red carpet politics, and Rachel's name has been tossed around more for her tweets than her wardrobe. Some insiders are already speculating that her outspoken support for Palestine, mixed with the PR disaster that was Snow White, might be enough for organizers to gently nudge her off the list, especially when you consider that her Snow White co-star Gal Gadot, on the opposite side of the political spectrum, will probably be smiling for the cameras, gliding up those Met steps like nothing happened. Coincidence or couture karma? In an industry where optics are everything, and silence is often the safest accessory, Rachel's potential absence might speak louder than any gown ever could. Of course, there's still time for a plot twist. Maybe she'll show up and steal the spotlight, drama and all, or maybe she'll stay home with her dog Lenny and let the Met Gala play out without her. Either way, everyone will be watching because, love her or not, when Rachel Zegler's name is in the air, there's never a dull moment. So here we are. A $115 million disaster. An actress at the center of a cultural firestorm, a studio quietly backing away, pretending this was all just a bad dream. Was Rachel Zegler simply the wrong person, in the wrong role, at the wrong time? Or is she the perfect storm, Hollywood's latest cautionary tale, wrapped in Gen Z confidence, viral soundbites, and a sprinkle of chaos? She's been called everything from the future of the industry to the downfall of Disney. She's sparked headlines, hashtags, think pieces, and meme threads. And yet, she's still here, still walking red carpets, still posting, still trending. So maybe Rachel Zegler's not done. Maybe this is just intermission, because whether it's another blockbuster, another internet war, or just another walk through New York City with Lenny the dog and a forehead crystal, one thing's certain, love her or hate her, we're all still watching. And this fairy tale? Yeah, it's far from over. Stay tuned.